What's good, everybody? Welcome into Early Edge Live as we count down to Sunday Night Football, the Steelers and the Chargers. I, of course, am the coach, your leader. We are powered by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting. Hopefully, you all had a good afternoon. Ours was kind of up and down. But if you're a new viewer to our brand, to our show, first of all, welcome. Here's what we do during this hour. Over the course of the first 10 or 15 minutes, we'll look back at our bets. We'll look back at the games that went on during the day. And then after the bottom of the hour, we'll look forward to our sides, totals, all the props you could possibly want. If you have a prop that you want to play tonight, you want to ask one of my experts, put it into the chat. Also, put in your Twitter handle so we can get a hold of you. I mentioned on the morning show that we're celebrating 20,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel tonight. So here's what we're going to do. When we get to 200 likes, I'm giving away an early edge hat. Nobody has those. If we get to 400, you get that all-elusive early edge hoodie. And then 500 likes tonight, I'm going to give away 5 year-long memberships to SportsLine. And there is no value on that because it's such a great platform. All right, without the housekeeping out of the way, let's bring in the stars of the show. You know I bring in the heavy hitters on Sunday night. Right below me, he's our number 5 hole hitter. We call him AB and dial up AB. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Coach. You know what? Just happened to be in the lineup. That's it, baby.
You're like the pitcher that hits 8. That's what you are. All right, and right next to me, live from parts unknown, we call him Prop Stars. Alex, good evening, sir.
What's up, Coach? I had a rough day, gentlemen. I'm licking my wounds a little bit here, but this is a learning experience. You just got to move on when this stuff happens. It's just part of the process. I'm already got it in the rearview mirror, looking forward, ready for tonight's game.
It's one of the things you have to do. I have found it's the most important thing to do when you do what we do, right? We're doing this 7 days a week. You're going to have the off days, and you just got to be able to already put it behind you because we have to look forward to Sunday Night Football, which, Alex, I know you are going to do. You're locked and loaded. All right, then also right below Alex, live from Nashville, Music City, Tennessee, M Squared, what's good?
Not much, Coach. I was just thinking about the insult of AB calling him the 5-hitter. The 5-hitter actually has the 3rd most RBIs typically, so not that much of an insult. We should have had him in the 7 or 8 spot.
Hey, you know, I appreciate your support.
Yeah, savage.
Yeah, appreciate your support.
Savage.
Thank you.
I struck out 3 times today and got hit by a pitch, so.
You got yanked. You're sitting on the bench.
Yeah, they took me out.
So the late games as they're wrapping up, guys, and of course me and Mikey are very happy right now. They might figure out a way, but currently the most important game going, Chiefs Cowboys. The Chiefs defense, AB, has shown up today, 19-9, no touchdown passes for Patrick Mahomes, but they've been very workmanlike. This is a big victory, even though they haven't played that well, if they can hold on.
Oh, yeah, be a huge victory. I mean, every single one of them they continue to stack as they go along is extremely important, especially against a Cowboys team like this. And it's the NFL. Not every win is going to be pretty. They're all going to kind of be different. But if you are a good enough team to be able to manage that and say, look, sometimes we're going to win with our defense. Sometimes we're going to win with our offense. Sometimes this is going to be a tight game and it's going to be weird. Like, that's the markings of a good team. And the Chiefs are a good football team right now.
Sure are. Alex, when you look at the props, Hill, 9 for 77, so he's going to hit his catch prop, but not his yardage prop. Travis Kelce, he's not going to hit either one, so really not a lot of overs hitting in that Cowboys-Chiefs game.
No, but they both played well. We continue to see this Chiefs offense continue to lean heavily on both Kelce and Hill. Clyde Edwards-Helaire came back today. I was surprised. I thought Darrell the Mentor Williams, my favorite nickname in sports right now, would have more of a role in the Kansas City offense. He was relegated to pretty much just backup duties. Clyde just assumed, the lead back role as soon as he came back. He played fairly well as well. He had a somewhat efficient day. On Dallas' side, it's really puzzling. 1 week, they'll look like the most explosive passing offense in the NFL, and then as soon as they're met with some resistance, they just completely crater. So, yeah, it's hard to really grasp what's going on in Dallas. I will say it must have thwarted their offensive plan. Losing Amari Cooper this week, in my opinion, that actually kind of killed both of our props from that game, because what it did was CeeDee Lamb was playing in the slot, which was a really advantageous position for him to be in. It kicked him outside. So, yeah, Dallas struggles when they face resistance. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I do, however, want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They lost CeeDee Lamb in the first half due to a concussion, and obviously Amari Cooper was ruled out 2 days before the game, and those are their 2 most explosive receiving options. So in fairness to them, that's a tough spot.
Yeah, it really was. CeeDee Lamb only had 3 catches for 14 yards, and they never got it going. And just moments ago, thank you to all of you in the chat. Dak Prescott threw another interception. So this one has finally gone final 19-9. The Chiefs hold the Cowboys to 9 points. Dak 28 of 43. 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. On the other side, Patrick Mahomes, we talked about his yardage prop. He did not hit that one either. 23 of 37, 260 yards, 1 interception for him, 0 touchdowns for the Kansas City Hurler. Now, AB, you were on an under in one of the late games. It kept dropping, 49, 48, ended up at 45. We should be good because Arizona just got the ball back up 10, 23-13. That one has never been in doubt for you.
Yeah, it's been a really nice game, and especially you saw how Arizona got the job done. What we talked about earlier today, that with Colt McCoy in at offense, they shrink the offense down and go right down the middle of the field. They had 2 touchdown drives that were 16 play and 19 play, both 92 yards that took 8 and 9 minutes off of the clock. So, yeah, really nice one. And I'll say this, the Seahawks have scored their first touchdown since Halloween. They've got some problems up there.
They got some big-time problems. Russell Wilson does not look like he is ready to come back from the injury. Maybe a little bit too soon, but they had to do it because in that division, if you don't win it, you're not going to the playoffs. Now, Alex, let me come to you. Some of the earlier games today that we talked about, I think this year more than ever, there's been games where the starting quarterback does nothing, like Carson Wentz today, 11-20, $106. 1 touchdown, and they score 41 because they've got the best running back in the game right now in Jonathan Taylor. How about 32 carries, $185, 4 touchdowns on the ground, 1 in the air, 5 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, how are we not playing him every week?
Just unbelievable. Yeah, this was a week that I was going to avoid him just because of how good this Buffalo defense has been. The Buffalo offense has been erratic. They've kind of been somewhat Jekyll and Hyde, up and down. They look good versus bad teams, bad versus good teams. But yeah, the one constant that has been for Buffalo has been this defense has shown up every single week. That was the one thing I expected to show up today. And then, yeah, watching Jonathan Taylor just break off big play after big play. He was the complete engine for this Colts team. He is undeniably one of the most electric players in football right now. He is the best running back, both in fantasy and in real life. Just an absolutely dominant performance. Incredible.
Awesome. Justin, I see you in the chat. He says, Coach, shout out to my dude, Matt Dean, for getting me on board with the early edge. Been watching for a few weeks now, up a few units, and won a yearly sub. Share the love. And hopefully you've had fun and you've learned it's all about knowledge, and knowledge is the power. Now, if anybody was still alive in their suicide pools, well, first of all, they're lying. Second of all, the rest of the people got crushed today when Houston went to Tennessee, and Mikey, the Texans beat the Titans by 9. They were an 8-2 team, but we talked about it on the show earlier today. The Titans have been stubbing their toe a little bit, and it came to roost today.
Yeah, definitely did. Talk about quarterbacks not really doing anything when offenses put up points. He didn't do anything either today, and they didn't put up any points. Just a really bad performance. And, Texans, they played well. They're obviously a much better team with Tyrod Taylor playing quarterback, but this team misses Derrick Henry, but not only misses Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown was clearly hurt in this game. Mm-hmm. And then Julio Jones not being there, the combination of all of those 3 things makes that team a little bit easier to defend. But you got to give credit to the Texans. They went on the road and won the division game here. And like I said, they're a much better team when Tyrod Taylor's under center.
There is no question about that. I think if he stays healthy, he could be of the future for the next 2 or 3 years, maybe. AB, let me come over to you, because right now, the best team in the NFC East, it's not the Dallas Cowboys. Tell me who it is.
It's the Philadelphia Eagles.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
40-29. Well. Talk to me.
Yeah, they're playing well. And you look, over the last 4 weeks or so, they have the most rushing attempts in the NFL, the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL. Jalen Hurts is doing his thing. This team is playing with a lot of confidence on both sides of the ball. And they not only can hit big plays. They can put drives together that just crush your soul and then turn it right around on defense and take it again as well. The end of the score doesn't reflect how this game really went down. Philadelphia is a very balanced football team right now. Credit to them. They've turned it around very quickly.
Alex, how much did it surprise you that Philly got it done the way they did get it done?
Completely shocked. You have heard me continually talk about how strong and how good this Saints rushing defense is. The Eagles combined for over 240 rushing yards today on the ground versus New Orleans. Through the first 9 games of the season, New Orleans had allowed less than 480 yards. Wrap your head around that. That is absolutely unbelievable. The Eagles are not afraid to run against anyone. Having seen this just shift, early in the season, they were running the ball barely, completely ineffectively when they were. Suddenly they call up Jordan Howard, who was not even on a roster to start the NFL season, and it's just unbelievable what is happening in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's just tremendous. The fact that they were able to just run at the Saints over and over and over again. The Saints knew what they were going to do, could not stop them. Just really impressive stuff by the Eagles.
Yeah, how about Sanders, 16 for 94, Hurts, 18 for 69, Howard, 10 for 63, to your point, and then Scott, 6 for 16. That all adds up to 242 yards rushing. An incredible performance for Philadelphia. They're now 5-6. Remember, this year, everybody, there are 17 games, not just 16. That's going to be very, very, very important. Now, Mikey, let me come to you. We got 2 more games I want to talk about, then we'll get into tonight. Panthers. You and I were both on them in a SportsLine showdown. They jumped out to a 7-0 lead, but Cam Newton had the ball, a chance to win the game, and could not get the job done. What do you make of the Panthers falling to 5-6 at home today?
I was just incredibly disappointed with their defense, frankly. I thought their defense was terrible for most of the day. I thought they'd be a little bit better than that. They just didn't get it done. The offense wasn't great at all times, but they certainly weren't terrible offensively in that game. They just gave up too many key big conversions. They let that team convert on 4th down a couple times. Just wrong time to give up some of those bigger plays. And what can you say about Terry McLaurin? Made some absolutely huge catches that really helped that team win the football game. If you went back and looked at the expected points added on a couple of those big plays that he made, that was the difference in the football game there.
Yeah, it certainly was. That was not the game of the day. AB, I'm going to come to you. The game of the day was certainly in Minnesota. Normally, the Vikings figure out a way to lose. Today, they figured out a way to win. This was exciting. What was there, 3 or 4 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes? 34-31, Aaron Rodgers. He has a bad toe. He said after the game, it really hurt a lot. 385 in the air, 4 scores for him. Kirk Cousins, 341 in the air, 3 touchdowns for him, but a big-time loss for Green Bay today, AB.
Yeah, and a big win for Minnesota. Right? This gets them to 5-5. And we talked about it this morning that they're the only team in the NFL that has been up by 7 or more points in every single game this season. It goes to show you, we talked about it, that this game would come down to the 4th quarter, and it absolutely did. So not a terrible loss for Green Bay, even though they do need to figure out this Aaron Rodgers toe situation. He says it's a little worse than turf toe, but a great win for Minnesota, keeps them in there. And Kirk Cousins, for as much as we all kind of make jokes, when his play action and the run game is on, dude, he's a monster, man. When they have the run game going and he can hit you in play action, Kirk Cousins could tear you up. And he absolutely put up points in yardage today.
Alex.
How good has Justin Jefferson been, too? He has just been electric recently.
Yes.
6 catches, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Anytime the Vikings are in a 3rd and long, Cousins just literally throws a prayer up to Justin Jefferson in double or triple coverage, and he just comes back down with a circus acrobatic catch. He makes it look easy. Right now, he's the best wide receiver in football. He is just dominant. Unguardable, especially when you have other viable weapons on that Minnesota offense. Adam Thielen, Tyler Conklin's a good tight end. Obviously, they have a good running game with Dalvin Cook. So, yeah, this is a very explosive, dynamic Minnesota offense. When they let Kirk Cousins spin the ball and throw it, they are really effective. When they fall too much in love with the ground game, their offense tends to sputter, but anytime they're forced to throw, they are extremely effective. So, yeah, if they could just continue to adopt that mentality of being a pass-first offense, I really think this offense would be one of the league's elite offenses.
I agree with you. I see Chuck in the chat. Chuck said, I took PropStar's advice on CD Lamb, took the under. It's all about knowledge and power. There's so many ways the under can happen. That's what you said when? On the props special on Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, every single Friday. Don't be late for that one. You got to watch that one live, or the numbers move like crazy. All right, it is 36 after the hour. For those of you who are past the bottom of the hour, thank you so much for joining us, Early Edge Live. As Kelsey said in the chat, she runs the chat. Smash that like button. When we get to 200, we're going to give away an Early Edge hat. I don't even have one yet. Mikey got one. I don't have one yet. We're going to send one to a very lucky person. Also, continue to put your Twitter handle in the chat. And if you have any props you want us to hit on, put them in the chat. We'll get to as many as we possibly can. All right, here's the numbers we're going with tonight. And, Mikey, I'm going to start with you. San Diego, -6, the total of 47 and your half. Your take on this game tonight. Steelers, Chargers, both desperately need a win if they want to even still think about the playoffs.
Yeah, both desperately want to win, and I just want to point out that the number's actually now up to 6.5 at pretty much every sports book that I'm looking at. So You can get 6.5 on the Steelers, and that is where I would lean in this game. They are healthy. I think they're going to dump the ball off to Najee a lot of Deontay Johnson in this game. But I simply think it's too many points. I think that this one, it opened around, 3.5? That was before some of the COVID news. I think 5 is the efficient number here on it. So I do like the Steelers with the points if I had to play that one. And then as far as the total goes, that one's tough. I have a slight lean towards the under, but definitely don't feel great about it in this one.
All right. AB, your thoughts on the total and the number?
So the total is really difficult because there are a lot of game scripts that can happen in this one tonight. It could be very low scoring. It could be very high scoring. It could be all over the board on both teams. But I will say what M Squared was talking about in terms of the number. Yeah, you're looking at the two highest teams in the NFL in regards to win or losses in one-score games, right? Like, I mean, the Chargers, that's legitimately every single week, and pretty much the Steelers as well. Excuse me. So, yeah, like when you're getting 6.5 especially, there's a lot of value with that. I'm not going either way with it. I've got a different play on this game. But, yeah, I mean, these two teams are one-score teams for sure.
I know you're our prop specialist, Alex, but you have a lot of knowledge outside of that. What's your initial take before we get into our official plays on the game tonight?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around how the Chargers, having lost 4 games in a row, are 6.5-point favorites over anyone, especially a Steelers team that, while they haven't been great, they haven't been bad. Obviously, Ben is back tonight. So, yeah, this Steelers team, to me, is capable of beating San Diego. Some of their strengths are San Diego's weaknesses. Nobody runs the ball against opposing teams, against the Chargers, more than any other team. So, yeah, I expect Pittsburgh, their strengths, like I said, they match up well with what the Chargers struggle to do, and I'm expecting a really run-heavy approach from Pittsburgh, and I have a hard time seeing the San Diego defense slowing Najee Harris down on the ground.
Great takes from all three of you. Now it's time for our official plays on the game tonight. And I believe, Mikey, you don't have one yet, right? We have our donkey parlay at the top of the hour? Okay.
Yep.
But I know, AB, you do. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Justin Herbert over 276.5 yards passing tonight. Again, I understand that there are some scripts in terms of the Steelers defense, which is pretty stout. And if the Steelers do have the ball in time of possession and running it, that can keep them out of it. But I like Herbert against the Steelers defense tonight. You look at what Pittsburgh does. They run zone coverage 75% of the time this season. And Justin Herbert has had success against that. 70% comp, 7.9 yards per attempt, and a 98.4 passer rating. I think that if they get up early in this game, you are going to see Los Angeles get after it early and often, both in the short passing game and the long passing game. And if Pittsburgh gets up, well, they're going to have to keep throwing it even more. So, yeah, give me Justin Herbert over 276.5 passing yards.
All right, very good. Very, very good. All right, Alex, do you have an official play tonight?
I do.
I knew you did. I was just trying to set up the drama. What do you got?
Yeah, so this play actually correlates with AB's play. There are a lot of missing pieces on this Steelers defense. The strength of the Steelers defense is their pass rush. They are going to be without TJ Watt. obviously one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Furthermore, they're missing Minkah Fitzpatrick, their starting safety. He was one of the Defensive Player of the Year nominees last season. Also missing starting corner Joe Hayden. So yeah, this Steelers defense is missing a lot of key pieces. So yeah, my official play though is Mike Williams, wide receiver from the Chargers, over 53.5 receiving yards. Williams is averaging 67.6 receiving yards per game this season. He has cleared this in 5 of his 9 regular season games. Williams has been plagued by a knee injury that he suffered in week 5, which I believe is largely to blame for the dip in production that he's experienced over the last 3 to 4 weeks. He, however, practiced in full this week for the first time. He was removed from the injury report altogether, did not have an injury designation heading into this game, which is a really good sign that he is healthy for the first time since suffering this knee injury. Like I mentioned, that he faces the Steelers defense. They rank 6th in EPA allowed per dropback. The Steelers' 7th rated pass rush, but without TJ Watt, that is a massive blow to the defense. The Steelers rank 26th in coverage grade. So I believe Herbert is going to pick them apart if he has time to throw, which he's going to as a result of TJ Watt not being in this game. I mentioned no Joe Hayden, no safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. That is also really good for Williams. I also don't think it's a coincidence either that Herbert has struggled the last 3 to 4 weeks. He's been playing poorly. I think that correlates to the fact that Mike Williams has also been playing poorly. When he was on fire earlier in the season, we saw the Chargers offense just explode. They were electric. Herbert has played a lot better when Williams was receiving intermediate targets in this passing offense. I think we're going to see the Chargers get back to that. Furthermore, they're going to be able to take deep shots to Williams because the Steelers aren't going to be able to get home with their pass rush like they usually can with TJ Watt missing in this game. So yeah, I really like Mike Williams over 53.5 receiving yards.
I love it. What about his reception number? Over 4.5 is plus 104.
Yeah, so I lean over Mike Williams. He has an interesting story to the season. I mentioned how he earlier in the season, he had, I think, 3 of the first 4 games. He went over 100 yards. He was looking absolutely dominant. His ADOT was actually, his average depth of target was a lot shallower in those early games. What we've seen over the past 3 to 4 weeks is a much deeper ADOT, and that has basically kind of made it somewhat one-dimensional. So if his ADOT is going to continue to be deeper, which there is a chance because that's a trend we've seen recently, it's going to be harder for him to get the reception. So basically they're using him as a big play threat. I think they're going to kind of switch things up this week and use him both in intermediate and deep routes. So I much prefer his yardage because of the fact they're taking deep shots to him. He's completely capable of going over 53 yards on one catch. Herbert's going to take some shots to him, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm much more comfortable with his yardage compared to his receptions.
All right, very good. I do need to stop the show very quickly because you know when I like to handle some business. And there's a reason we put Kelsey in charge of the chat. AB, can you bring up my guy who thinks that he won $100 from Mikey in the showdown bet? And I remember distinctly. So now he wants to show up. No, that's not him. That's not him. Yeah, that's him. But he has another one saying, hey, where's my $100? Where's that $100 Mikey owes me from that Panther spread? Y'all even brought my comment up last week. Yes, we did. And what did I say on the show? I said, you got to tweet at us, and we'll meet you up on social media. Did I not say that? Right?
Yeah, I haven't gotten any tweets. I would have gladly accepted them.
Of course not. So what did Kelsey do in the chat? Bring up what Kelsey just said, AB, if you don't mind. If you don't mind. Kelsey says, did you reach out on Twitter like they said to? Boom! That's all I need to say. I don't even need to handle anything. You want to bet my guys or myself, and I tell you to do something, that's what you got to do. You can't come back after the game's over and go, where's my $100? Oh, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Kelsey, thanks for handling that business. Thank you for handling it. That is beautiful. That's exactly how it's done. Because I promise you, Trey, Mikey's never met a bet that he walked out on. He's never met a bet that he wouldn't take. But he's just not going to give it to you. Come on, you got to step up. You got to
no Welchers on this show.
There is no Welchers. We pay every time, usually before the game's over, to be honest with you. It really, really is. All right, now we've got all our official plays out. So over the course of the next 10 to 15 minutes, if you have a prop that you like, then let's get into it. I've got several I've written down right now. I'm going to start with you, Mikey. Najee Harris, he's always a popular play always a popular play. Attempts is always something we've cashed on too. Tonight it's at 20.5 at -110. Talk to me.
I don't like the over, that's for sure. It's slight lean on the under. I just think that if the Chargers are on, the game script can dictate to where they're not going to feed him the ball quite as much. With Ben in there, I expect a few more shorter passes, especially in the direction of Deontay Johnson. So my median number here on this is 18.8. That's enough to where I actually probably should be on the under if it's at 20.5. So I'm certainly not on the over, but I would be very, very cautious if you liked the over on that one.
All right, let's stay with Najee Harris because his catch prop is over 4.5 at +124. AB, your thoughts on that?
That's actually not a bad play at all. I think that they're going to use the short passing game with Najee, and you're going to get that whether they're up or whether they're down, right? I think that is going to be a play. So I kind of don't mind that one at all.
Okay, very good. Let's come to you, Alex, because you love Pat Freiermuth. And I believe you said the last time we cashed on my man, you said it'll be a while before we see a 3 in front of his name because of a catch prop or a yardage prop. Tonight is 34.5 -125, and his reception prop is 3.5 -157.
Yeah, so I get one. Yeah, so I gave out his reception prop on a different stream appearance earlier in this week. That opened at like -105. Unfortunately, that has been juiced to the point where I don't think it's a value at this stage. I would, however, look at his yards. I do think his yards offer some value at 35.5. I lean over on that for sure. Just to give you some brief stats regarding Freiermuth, he ran around 76% of drop packs over the past 2 weeks. He's had at least 4 receptions in 4 straight games. He's averaging 7.25 targets per game. He also played 54 snaps last week compared to Ebron, who played 29 snaps. So Ebron really didn't eat into his snap count or target share. Furthermore, the Chargers rank 30th in DVOA against the tight end position. So they are very generous to opposing tight ends. Through 9 games, they've allowed 46 receptions for 590 yards. Ben also seems to have a really strong connection with Pat. The Heath Miller comps, I love those comps. He's got really short hands. He also had that fumble in the overtime last week. I really think that he's going to be motivated to make up for that turnover, which ended up costing the Steelers the victory in that game. So, I really like Freiermuth. I like both his receptions and his yardage. However, I do think the receptions at -157, a lot of the value has been sapped out of it. I just want to make one point about Najee Harris.
Yes.
He is dead last, 143 out of 143 in fantasy points over expected this year. That is a stat that basically tries to look at a player's production and identify when there are times when a player is kind of performing above or below expectations. So that does not mean Najee Harris is bad. That means he's basically kind of playing above what expectations are, and as a result, his numbers are kind of inflated. So, I would proceed cautiously with Najee Harris. We have seen monster workloads, but we've also seen his yardage totals inflate a lot since he's been having these large workloads, and it is a plus matchup versus a really bad Chargers team. I would just say that there is a chance that he's going to be subject to some negative regression, which the advanced metrics would suggest that he's very much due for.
In the last 90 seconds, for those of you wondering, that's what an advanced metric is. It's not this business is not a coin flip, as some people say. That was next level. All right, we have our first winner. You guys pounded that like button to the tune of 200, and I've got our winner of our early edge hat. You can look just like M squared at Bridie Liz. At Bridie Liz, you are our first winner tonight. If we get to 400, I'm going to give away a really nice early edge hoodie. They're not even on the market yet. If we got to get to 400 likes, let's pound that like button. Everybody can do it once. All right, let me come to you, Mikey, because we talked about Mike Williams. We played his over, but they've got another really, really good wide receiver too in Keenan Allen. His number is 73.5 -110. Can we play that and also play Mikey Williams?
Yeah, I think you could definitely play both of them. If we think that they could struggle like they have in recent weeks, they're going to have to throw the football because they're likely not going to be ahead big time in this game. So I lean towards the over on Keenan Allen. The edge that I'm showing in the model suggests that I probably should be playing it. A little cautious with it because I do think that based on the practice reports, this is one of the first times Mike Williams has been healthy in a while, which I do think will take away just a little bit from Keenan Allen. So I've shied away from it. My number on it is 82. It's a little bit of an edge there, but not one that I have locked in yet officially.
Okay. Several people in the chat that just came in a little bit late. We will be doing our best bets just after the top of the hour again, and we'll have a full screen on them as well. And we'll give you plenty of time, at least 10 to 15 minutes to get your plays in as we do them a little bit earlier, probably in the next 5 minutes or so. AB, let me come to you. Someone in the chat, Kushup, can you give out your Justin Herbert number? They came in a little bit late, please.
Yep. Justin Herbert over 276.5 passing yards.
All right, let me stay with you. If you think he's going to get to 277, he's got to throw to somebody. Austin Eckler, his rushing total is 59.5. His catch total is over 4.5 plus 103. And his total rush and receiving number is 96.5. Don't have the number on that. Any of those three you like?
Yeah,
and Alex, I'll come to you.
Yeah, that rushing receiving number is pretty high. I do think that Justin Herbert is going to have a good night. In terms of completions, I think that he's going to make a lot, but 96.5 is a ton. You're going to have to get a very balanced offense with that. I would look at one of them and roll with it, right? And it might be receptions. That might be your best play here. I think that there are going to be a lot of completions for Justin Herbert tonight. So, yeah, no strong take for me in terms of the yardage, but I do like the completions tonight.
All right. Alex?
I have talked about recently, I know you've heard me kind of do a lot of long-winded spiels about this. Eckler, unfortunately, his role in this offense as a pass catcher has kind of been somewhat rocky, especially over the last few weeks. The last 2 weeks in particular, he's had only 3 catches in each of the last 2 games. We're seeing him be primarily used as an early down runner. Do I think that is the best fit for him in this offense? Absolutely not. To me, he's one of the most dynamic pass-catching running backs in the NFL. The Chargers would be way better suited to have him running more routes. Unfortunately, he's just not getting that much work in the passing game. They're also rotating his snaps a lot. So, yeah, I wished his usage was more in the passing game, but it just hasn't been there until I see that start to trend or tip in the other direction. I would personally lay off of his receptions props and his receiving yards just because the usage hasn't been there.
And you've been saying that for 3 or 4 weeks. And so we've all stayed off, but there's a lot of people. And you've taught us so much, and Mikey too, and AB, that there are certain names that people just love to play. They love to play them no matter what. And that's why they juice these numbers up so high. And then people wonder why they don't hit. That's why. Listen, sometimes stay away. All right, Mikey, let me come back to you. People still very interested in Najee Harris. His total combined number is 112.5 minus 113. That's one number we haven't talked about yet.
I'd like the under on it a little bit. So my number on that is 106. So that one's inflated. It just goes to show you what Alex was talking about. Frankly, he's underperformed. And the reason he's underperformed is because the usage has been absolutely insane. It's not because he's been a bad player. It's just absolutely insane usage. And this projects as a spot where that usage could dip just a little bit with Ben back in the lineup. It's going to mean great things for Deontay Johnson. Freiermuth's there. Ebron is healthy too. They got both of the tight ends active. If the Chargers are back on the right page, it's also a scenario where they're throwing the ball a little bit more. So it's under or nothing for me on Najee Harris there.
All right, very good. Alex?
Yeah, I'm completely with Mikey. He summed that up very well. I just wanted to piggyback on what he said. I also like the under on that combined rushing and receiving prop. It is a very large number for him, and I try to explain this. There are so many more ways for an under to hit than an over. He could be subject to an injury, game script. There are just so many things that can happen. He can just get worked out just receive less touches, not have the same workload. He's had these monster workloads week after week after week. You could see a dip in that. So yeah, there are just so many ways for an under to hit when these numbers start to grow and grow and grow and get very inflated. It's just the value just isn't there playing the over. So Mike's 100% right. It's either under or nothing. And I happen to also like the under on that number as well. I have projected in the low hundreds too.
Great analysis. It doesn't get any better than the last two guys. I mean, they're as good as it gets. That's just the bottom line. Randy in the chat, Coach, I didn't say you flip coins to make your prop bets. You're misrepresenting what I meant. Randy, I wasn't even talking about you. There was some dude like 2 months ago who wrote that everything's a coin flip. So Randy, I didn't even see what you wrote. We're all good. It was some dude like 2 months ago that I was referring to. So all good. All good. All right. I believe we've got to all the props that people in the chat want to do. So we don't force anything. All right. So it's that time of the show. We're getting close to 8 o'clock. That means, and we hit it. Did we hit this Monday, Mikey, or Thursday? Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Donkey?
Yeah,
Thursday.
the donkey hit on Thursday.
The last one, right?
Yep.
It is so much fun when this hits. For those of you who are new to this show, we do a fun parlay that Mikey puts together for us every single primetime show. We call it the Donkey Parlay, and it is so much fun to keep track of all the different plays. So, Mikey, the floor is yours. What do we got tonight?
All right, we're going back to 7 legs on the donkey tonight. We're taking the Steelers alternate spread plus 14.5, the Chargers plus 3.5 on the alternate spread, over 37.5 alternate total in the game. Austin Eckler over 19.5 receiving yards. Najee Harris over 14.5 receiving yards. Mike Williams over 39.5 receiving yards. And then Pat Freiermuth, 3+ catches. You don't need the 4th catch. You just need the 3rd one.
God, that looks like so much fun. Plus 400 is the play on that. All right, we are approaching the top of the hour. We like to give you as much time as we possibly can, but this is the time of the show where we make our most frustrating yet most fun pick of the entire show. We call it the Van Jefferson Memorial first touchdown of the game, and that's where we pick one name. It has to be plus 1,000 or above, and there are people in the club like Mikey. AB, are you in the club? The answer is no. Alex, are you in the club?
I've been trying to get into the club, man. I've been throwing $100 bills at the bouncer. I've been doing everything I possibly can, just trying to pull every string and reach out to every connection. I cannot get in this freaking club, and it's killing me.
Yeah, I'm standing outside with you two clowns, and I'm trying to throw Mikey's name around just to get in. And they're like, no, I don't know. M squared, who are you talking about? Oh, yeah, he's inside with Maestro and Sia, but he doesn't want to talk to you guys. All right. So, Mikey, this is your segment. You were the first one to ever hit it. So, as always, you get to go first, sir. What do you got tonight?
All right. This one's not as long a shot as I normally would go, but plus 1,600 on DraftKings Sportsbook right now. I'm going with Jared Cook. I just like to look for tight ends in the red zone, and that's where I'm going to go tonight. I think he has a pretty good shot here. Obviously, we know that Eckler and Keenan Allen are going to take a lot of the attention on the Pittsburgh Steelers side. When we're talking about Mike Williams, we're typically looking at longer shots down the field. I think this might come from, if it comes from in the red zone itself. So give me Jared Cook plus 1,600.
All right. I like that one, too. All right. I have a feeling AB is going to take mine. AB, what do you got? Oh, no! Oh!
We didn't invite Jay Smoot tonight. What's going on?
There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to do way too much on my computer here. Look, we're going to go Donald Parham. Yeah. And plus, you could get it plus 2,200 all the way up to plus 3,000. So, yeah, we're going to go with our guy here. You look at what the Chargers have done. They've scored well in the first half of games this season. So, yeah, Donald Parham's our guy.
You talk about somebody that wouldn't be allowed in the club. Jay Smooth would not be allowed in the club. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, Alex, I know there is nobody on the Early Edge crew that the fire burns inside more than it burns inside of you to get into the club. What do you got tonight?
Yeah, Mike talked about tight ends in the red zone. I agree. I've got Pat Freiermuth at plus 1,600. Coach obviously likes this one too. I was shocked to see him at this number. Actually, I thought he'd be plus 1,000 to like plus 1,200. But yeah, he scored 3 touchdowns in the last he scored 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He's running around on 76% of dropbacks since he's become a full-time player. He's got a 22% target rate this season. That is exceptional. I mentioned he has at least 4 receptions in 4 straight games. He's averaging over 7 targets per game. The snaps are there. He played 54 last week. Ben loves him. They seem to have a really, really good connection. Freiermuth leads all Steelers with an 85.1 PFF grade, so he is playing phenomenally, both as a blocker, as a receiver. The advanced metrics love him. Yeah, he's been exceptional. He's got really sure hands. He is who Ben looks to on third downs or in tough spots when you need a big catch. So yeah, Pat Freiermuth, I love the guy too. He's one of my favorite players in football.
I'm so pissed right now. I am so pissed right now. I should have sent in my play when I was thinking about it, and I didn't. So I'm going to go. I just had to look, and it just creeped over my number, thank goodness. It's right at plus 1,000. But he led the Steelers in catches a week ago, and there's a very good chance that Deontay Johnson could find the end zone tonight. First, I'll take him at plus 1,000. And I don't want to hear if he scores it. Oh, coach, it was right at that. It doesn't matter. It was over plus 1,000, so it counts if he scores tonight. All right, those are your 4 plays. All right, now it is that time where we put up the full recap for those people who came in at the top.
Oh.
Ooh.
I didn't even know. My bad. My bad. Jeweler, my apologies. What do you have? Damn, I honestly feel bad. I really, really do. What do you have tonight, Jeweler?
Well, you might be keenly noticing I am wearing a Clemson Tigers raggedy old hat from a long time ago, and that is in honor of my Van Jefferson Memorial first down touchdown pick, Ray McLeod, who is the Steelers punt returner, kick returner. He's also their 4th string wide receiver. He had a ridiculous week last week. He had 9 receptions and pretty much doubled his receiving total for the season. And the reason why I'm picking him, okay, William Hill right now, you can get my guy Ray 40 to 1. All right. You know where he is at other places. He's 18 to 1 on DraftKings, 29 to 1 on FanDuel, and 20 to 1 on MGM. So if you can get him at 40 to 1 on William Hill, that screams to me #value. I'm going with Ray McLeod.
Mikey, what do you want to say to that?
I just say I'm proud of him for shopping around and just finding the discrepancy. It's the smartest move on a touchdown bet over 1,000.
I mean, I also got one more for you here. If I'm reading this correctly, the Chargers are 31st in the league in opponent punt return yards allowed. So let's see Ray return. House one.
I can already see how this is going to play out.
If Ray McLeod houses a punt return, I'm giving away 2 free early edge hoodies to someone on Twitter.
Oh my God! Now you know it's going to happen. What are you going to add to it, Mikey?
I said I'll add 10 hoodies to it if he returns a punt for a touchdown.
So there's 12 hoodies on the line. Yeah. 12 hoodies. Oh my God! Now I want it to hit. Now I really, really want it to hit. Oh my God! I can already see how it's going to play out. This is going to hit. Then we're going to see a video up on Twitter of the jeweler doing something, going, "My boy Ray." Oh, it's going to drive me insane. Insane. All right. Thank you, jeweler. Let's throw up that recap and let's do our official plays one more time for those people that came. What's that?
This is great timing because it looks like AB's computer just froze and he dropped out. But I don't have the recap for you immediately right now. I could work on one and
that's okay.
Get one cooked up for it.
Well, Alex can give his you've got an official play. You can give it one more time. There's AB back in the game. All right, Alex, one more time. Very quickly, please. Give your one play on the show tonight.
Yep, that is Mike Williams over 53.5 receiving yards. Mike Williams had a phenomenal start to the season. He's been plagued by a knee injury. We've seen a dip in production as a result. Came into this game without an injury designation, not on the injury report whatsoever. Steelers are also missing multiple key defenders, TJ Watt, Joe Hayden, Minkah Fitzpatrick. It's a great spot. I think Mike Williams is going to get back on track.
All right, very good. AB, what do you got officially for the show tonight?
Yeah, so I wish that I had a graphic for everybody. We're going through some computer issues right now, and it's not dial-up. it's everything else. But we are going Justin Herbert over 276.5 passing yards tonight.
I feel like I need to put out a help wanted for a backup producer because Julo, I just don't know if AB is as committed to this as he used to be. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. All right, Mikey, real quick, let's go over that donkey parlay one more time before we say our final takes and get the hell out of here and enjoy our Sunday night football. Go through it one more time for the people, please.
All right, donkey parlay, Pittsburgh Steelers plus 14.5 on the alternate spread. Los Angeles Chargers plus 3.5 on the alternate spread. Over 37.5 total points. Austin Eckler over 19.5 receiving yards. Najee Harris over 14.5 receiving yards. Mike Williams over 39.5 receiving yards. Pat Freiermuth 3+ receptions. Make sure you play the 3+ and not the over 3.5, as those are different. Plus 400 on all those together.
All right, very good. Let's cash it for the second straight primetime game. And I got to say, AB, I don't feel good about it, but the people in the chat agree with me. They feel like you're on your last legs, you're kind of mailing it in, and that you don't really care anymore. I'm just saying what they're saying. It's not what I'm saying. It's what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just don't kill the messenger.
Well, no. I'll tell you what. Right after the show, I'm going to show you on Twitter exactly what I've been dealing with. And, yeah, there you go. I've done half the show like that. Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
It's committed. That's what it is. Committed.
Why does that look like one of those computers they use on Outer Banks show where they're looking for fish and they're trying to mark fish underneath? That's what that looks like.
Yeah.
And you do work at Bass Pro Shop, so that would make a lot of sense.
That's
That would
right.
make a lot of sense.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, this is what happens when you run Photoshop in our software program at the same time. Apparently, all hell on earth. So, yeah.
That's just embarrassing.
I've seen this before here. This looks a lot like fry grease to me.
Mike, I was actually just thinking that this looks like an NFT that Jay Smooth just spent $5,000 on.
Right?
This looks like the Chick-fil-A sauce spilled on the laptop.
I just won 18 straight basketball plays, and I spent it all on an NFT. Okay, my name is Jay Smooth. All right. It's time for final take time. We love this show so very much. I give my guys 20 to 30 seconds at the end of every show to tell me what they're most looking forward to tonight. Alex, kick us off.
I am looking forward to seeing Pat Freiermuth score the first touchdown of the game, Coach, since I stole that from you. When they open the red carpet for me, they take off, they open the door for me. I'm going to go, you know what, I got to get my man Coach in here too. Coach, we're rolling in. Mikey's got bottle service. Let's go do it in the back of the club.
I know you're that guy can slide that $100 bill real nice and smooth to the guy without anybody seeing it. It's a skill. It's a skill. All right, AB, I'm a little scared, to be honest, to go to you right now, but I know that you've got to take. So Jeweler, you need something?
Keep going.
Okay. AB, what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I want to see which team, kind of shows up in terms of the Steelers are 1-7 against the spread in their last 8 primetime games. However, you look at Los Angeles, they have been terrible at home. They've lost 3 of the last 4 games at home. And they've only covered 36% of the time since moving to Los Angeles. So somebody's got to do something here.
It's funny you should use the term show up. You were late to the morning show, and you've kind of been here for the evening show. Mikey, what are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how the Chargers kind of respond here after they haven't been great for really the last month of the season. I want to see how aggressive they are early, see if Mike Williams is truly healthy in this game. And then on the other side, I want to see how quickly they get Deontay Johnson back involved with Ben under center. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight.
All right. Hey, Jeweler, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
I'm looking forward to Ray McLeod just absolutely running one pack for 6 points, preferably, one of the earlier plays in the game. He made a Moscow Mule earlier for dinner, so, I'm living life, especially if Ray scores.
Oh, my goodness. All right. There is a lot on the line tonight. All right. That's going to do it. We appreciate every single one of you for tuning in for every show. If you don't follow our YouTube channel yet, subscribe, please. Turn on the notifications so every single time we have a ton of shows. We do it every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We are here, and we're here for you. We grind for you, and we love it We love it so much. All right, there's only one thing left to do, and you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire team, M Squared, Prop Stars, AB, Dial Up, The Jeweler, and of course, Kelsey running the chat. I am the coach. Tell all your friends. Let's continue to grow, and let's do this thing together right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.